Hello everyone! I hope you've been well. This is another book review with me, B. Today we're going to be reviewing, I guess you could call it a review. I guess it's kind of more me gushing about an artist and how and why I like their art so much. Anyways, I got this at my local international bookstore in New Jersey. I love it. Try to find me. No, I'm kidding. As you can tell, this book is not very big. It's a little tiny. The artist is Tono. I guess you can call it a collection. It feels like it has a bit of a narrative at some point, but overall, it's a lot of beautiful art. Oh yeah, I kind of damaged my book when I put it in my bag. I loved it that much. I was like determined to carry it with me everywhere. I'm gonna show it to you without the cover on. You probably won't notice as we're looking at the images, but I took it off because when I tried to film with this, it was very difficult. It kept like flopping around and it was kind of messy. But you can see that in this piece, like just the cover is one full piece. And at the end, you'll find out that they made this piece specifically for the book. Like they made this for the book cover, which I just love. I love whenever a book puts neon color with their art, which is typically muted. But regardless, I'm just a sucker for neon on books, on book covers specifically, but you know, just overall, I could have neon anywhere, anytime. I love it as an accent. It's just fun. I just like having a good time. You can tell that there's this like very cute pattern. I don't know if they designed this pattern or if it was their publisher. Either way, I really like it. It's very muted, natural, very cute. There's cute little characters even on the little ends. We're gonna go in and you're gonna see a beautiful well piece. I love the way she does water. It feels very Alice in Wonderland, like the book, Through the Looking Glass. Just so much attention to detail through color is the best way I can describe it. Because if you get up close, it's really like patchy or more organic, to say the least. It looks simple and yet it also looks complicated. It's pretty obvious just looking over this piece that Tono really knows what they're doing in sense of drawing your attention. For example, there's something we've learned in art when you're painting, which is like what you want people to focus on, that's where you want the detail, and she does that. And it's very evident. Like, look at this piece. We got a lot of stuff going on, yet it doesn't feel like you can't understand what's happening in the image. It's, despite there being a lot, you're still interpreting this pretty easily. I'm also really sorry, for some reason I really should set my white balance better because the colors, they look great here, but sometimes when I pull my camera away, it picks up my skin tone and it will shift the tone. So I'm sorry if you notice that or if it's a bother, but I hope you know that right now you're getting like the best accurate color that I can provide myself. There is no editing. I tried it. It messed with the image's colors. So if you see, yeah, like where it gets a little wonky, sorry about that. Oh yeah, and the other thing I love about her, I don't know if it was intentional, but there are like no well, like for the most part, there's like no human, oh, I'm just gonna eat it. There is a guy, I totally forgot. There's like men, maybe male presenting sometimes, but for the most part, like guaranteed dudes are usually animals, which I found interesting. I really wonder why she went with that. Oh, and I keep saying she, but honestly, the artists, like most artists that I pick up these art books that are fully in Japanese, and when I try to look into them, like sometimes they have a Pixby, I'm probably saying that wrong, or definitely usually a Twitter, and I just have to say that like there is no info on them usually, so I might say she because that's just for some reason what I'm defaulting to, but it could be a guy or somebody male presenting or female presenting, so I hope I don't offend them or anybody. If I bounce around, that's why. But we're here for the book. We're here for the images. Like, I mean, look at this. Look at this. Isn't this beautiful? I love how she does colors. She reminds me of one of my favorite artists, which I'm very ashamed to say that I hope I don't get it wrong. Maxfield Parrish. Oh my god, I got it right, didn't I? Okay, anyways. I feel Maxfield Parrish in so many of her pieces because there's like that one tone, that one color that takes over the whole piece. Also, trying not to choke here. I just got over an illness. I was like super sick, and I was doing fine all day, and then right before I start recording this, no joke, right before I start recording this, I start having a coughing fit. So I'm sorry if my voice starts sounding weird or it sounds like I'm dying. Please, if I will try not to cough on this recording. Obviously, I will have to edit that out. So if you hear me go, oh, okay, I'm back from a coughing session, that's what's happening. Okay, back to the book. Sorry if that was loud. I love her thumbnail sketches. I don't know what it is about, like, I love seeing artists, like, their little sketching mode. It's so inspiring for me. Like, it really, like, I'll see them and I'm like, I gotta draw. I gotta go get my pencil, my pen, get my tablet. I gotta draw. Like, it sends me into that. I don't know if that happens to anybody else, but sometimes you'll just see a piece and you're like, I got to get on it right now. I gotta draw right now. And you'll, like, find a scrap. It's like you become feral. Like here she uses like this, I think it was done in pen, and I just love those broad strokes. I love using a chunky black pen sometimes. Also, I'm a sucker for this alligator. He pops up, like, I think we're gonna get a couple of them if I remember correctly. I just love it. I love her colors. I love her texture. I'm pretty sure, if she doesn't, I'll eat my words, but I'm pretty sure they draw it like on paper and then they pull it in, and if they don't, I'm amazed because it feels so real. It feels like I don't look at it as digital art, if that makes sense. Like, I'm looking at it as an art piece, and there's nothing wrong when I look at a piece like that it's digital or I get that vibe like that. I'm not hating on digital art. I make digital art, but I absolutely love that when I look at her pieces, I'm just taken into the piece. Like, I'm there. I am putting the bow tie on the crocodile. That's me. I'm doing that. Okay, not like in a creepy way. I'm totally mentally stable for the most part. I'm okay. Anyways, I just love it. I'm just saying I get into the piece. That's what happens when I'm looking at them. It's great. Oh my god. Okay, so we're getting to my favorite section. One, if it's not already obvious, I love the color blue. It is like my favorite color to paint with. It is top tier. I love blue and pink, but primarily, if you get me a blue, I'm happy. You can gift me a blue. And in these, it's like a combo of my two favorite things, blue and witches. And I just love how every other color, when you paint with blue, just pops out. Look at this. Look at the glow effect. Isn't that amazing? It feels like we're experiencing this moment, this like sorcery, and we really are feeling like, oh, what's going on? I just love how she pulls you in through color. Like, it's always the color that hits me first. It is always the color, and then I go into what's actually going on in the piece or who's in the piece. That always comes second. It's always the color first. I'm hit with an emotion through the color initially, and then I go into everything else. And I just love her designs when it comes to like her characters. It almost like her art is like a character in itself, that the characters, like the girl witches or the ram, they're like secondary, and I just love her designs. They're just so unique and simple, and I'm like, I want to dress like them. I want to visit here. Like I feel so uneducated when I'm talking about this, because I can't put it into words. Like, it's just such a beautiful world she's created through these pieces. And you know, whenever I am buying art books, when I can open them and look through them, a lot of times you can't. They're usually wrapped, and I totally get it. I understand. So I have to Google them. And you know, that's why I'm making this video. So if you're somewhere in a store, you can like scrub through this and be like, oh yeah, I'm definitely getting that. I love artists that can do this. And that's why I buy these books. Like, I buy these books to see this beautiful art, yes, obviously, but I get transported. Like, I will be looking at these pieces and then I will start to daydream. Like, what if it was me? Why can't I sit on a book? Why can't I be tiny and sit on a book? Or why can't a book be big and I sit on it? I don't know if that makes sense. Either way, I love her pieces. It's magical, and I think this is a perfect time to show the world through my little video why I love these, why I think these are great, because it's the perfect season. Like, I think if you were to buy a book, an art book for a season, like as a seasonal gift, I don't know, this is the one. Also, look at this. Okay, these are the same image. Yeah, take a good look, right? You're thinking, no, that one's smaller, right? Because that's what I thought. I thought, oh, one of them is smaller. But no, they're the same. It's just a great way of showing like contrast. Like, I genuinely thought like, oh no, that one's pulled further away and this one's closer. But like, okay, maybe a little bit, but overall it is the contrast. And I'm just like blown away because it messes with me. It's the same image, but one's darker and one's lighter. And I just love that. I love that she was debating it and she showed it to us. But overall, I think I might be repeating myself again, but when you look at her pieces, it's the color, it's the contrast, it's the light, it's the character design. I could go on and on and on and on. And I feel like I'm repeating myself because there's like really not much else to say of this. I feel if you are an enjoyer of art, if you like peaceful scenes, if you like fantasy, honestly, if you're chaotic enough and wild enough, I'm sure if you wanted to, I could not bring myself to do this, but you could definitely like cut these out and frame them, and people would talk. Like, if you had somebody over, somebody would talk about it, because her designs, again, I'm repeating myself, her designs, her colors, she nails it. Look at how beautiful this is. There's always like this there's always, it feels like there's something hidden, and I love when artists do that, because you know they were just as consumed in their art piece as you are as the viewer looking at this art. And like, I didn't even notice that squirrel the first time. I kept thinking, what is that? And it took me a really long time to notice it was a squirrel in Dapple Light. I just love that, because it's like you get rewarded for enjoying the artwork. For example, we can like look at this and just be completely taken by the piece on its own, and that's perfectly fine. But if you want to hang around and like stare, oh, check it out, cute little birds, look at these branches, look at these details. I think if you're like me and you get inspired to make art by looking at other beautiful art, this I would recommend you to get. Side note, I love how she does horses. I should have mentioned that earlier, but I was like talking. I love her horses. I love her animals. They're incredibly adorable. I mean, look at the squirrel. Look at it. Look at it. Look at how cute that is. I want to grab it. I want to grab it and I want to put it in my pocket. It's the most adorable thing. I just want to read a whole story about it. I want to know about these animals and their daily life. Tell me, tell me how many pieces you've seen that make you feel that way about a background animal in an art piece. That's a gift. I'm not, putting anybody else down for not making you feel that way, but she has a real talent here. Personally, I'm just gonna say this piece is great, but the other piece really should have been a full spread too. Okay, I just had to say that was my thought when I first opened and looked through this book. I was like, what a loss that it's not a full spread. I'm not sure in the order of when these pieces, like if she had done this earlier in her art career or it's more recent. I'm not sure if the collection is organized from newer to later or if it's all mixed together, but you will see like some pieces are much heavier on texture and others are more simple. It could just be like what she was feeling in the moment and not really relating to time, but like I feel these two pieces, I think they're really beautiful, but I feel that possibly they were being done at a different point in their art development, their art career. They just feel different, and not in a bad way, but it almost feels like another person. I love these pieces. They're very simple, they're very cute. I am a wizard newt. I really love the wizard newt. I can't get enough of it. Or I guess technically maybe it's a salamander. I'm not sure. I love them. I think these designs are so cute. I feel that every time she shows animals with like a character aspect, like they're in a dress or they're hanging out with the witches or they're wearing a hat, I feel so connected to them. Like I wish I was that cat. I really wish I was the wizard newt. Not gonna lie, really wish I was the wizard newt. I love these because I kept thinking when I saw these, I'm like, oh, if I take a photo of each of them individually and like crop them in Photoshop, I can make them into a little animation because they're just so adorable. I really like these. I would love these as a stamp or just like little washi tape. I'm that person. I love buying that little kitschy stuff. I don't need it, but I will buy it, and if somebody gets me that, I'm always super happy to accept. I'm just a sucker for cute things, okay? It's super simple. I like her fusion of texture with these because I want to say I'm pretty sure that these are fully digital, but when I look at them from afar, these and the wool foxes, it always took me a second to realize, oh, these were like they had details to their face. I thought they were just silhouettes originally, and I just think their little expressions are just so cute, and they really don't stand out, like maybe a little bit more on the foxes, but I think they're just really cute. I again am drawn into the color, the texture. They feel like part of a story, even if it's just them existing. Oh, and this is her making of the book cover that I mentioned at the very beginning, and you can see her process. I wish I can't read Japanese. I have the app or Google Translate, and it's really rough, but I'm always curious on how much of the back and forth went in between her and the publisher, or if she just made it and they were like, great, who are we to say anything? You're the artist. I'm sure there was feedback, but I loved it. I love that she showed us how she made this. Personally, I love when I get an art book from an artist I really admire and they show me how they make things. Not necessarily meaning if they don't, they're gatekeeping. I just think it's really nice because I feel like I get to understand the artists themselves a little bit better. Here's like a Q&A in the back. Again, if you have Google Translate, you can totally read this once you get the book. I do not think they have an English translation. And it's really rare for these books to get translated into English. So use the app or learn the language. It's up to you. Or maybe you can just enjoy the art. Who am I to tell you what to do with your art book? But anyways, that was Tono, Half Moon, one of my favorite books again. And I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And if you made it this far, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's been great. I hope you have a great time. And remember, be cool. Bye.